The sun glints off the Nile as our boat glides toward a small island, Philae. Palm trees shimmer in the light, and ahead, rising from the water, stand columns crowned with lotus blooms, the temple of Isis. Here in the serene corner of Upper Egypt, time feels suspended. This temple, once the heart of goddess worship, whispers stories of resurrection, magic, and divine love that still ripple through our modern world. Welcome to the Temple of Isis, the return of the divine feminine. Today, we'll journey through her sacred temple, trace its relocation from its original home, and explore how Isis, the great mother of ancient Egypt, is awakening again in our collective spirit. The Temple of Isis was originally built on Philae Island near Aswan more than 2000 years ago. It was one of the last great temples of ancient Egypt, begun during the reign of Ptolemy II and completed by later pharaohs and Roman emperors. Dedicated to Isis, goddess of motherhood, magic, and rebirth, it drew pilgrims long after the old gods had faded. But in the 20th century, when the Aswan Dam was built, Philae's sacred island was threatened. For months each year, it lay submerged beneath rising Nile waters, its walls half drowned, hieroglyphs eroded by waves. In the 1960s, UNESCO launched a daring rescue. Stone by stone, block by block, the temple was dismantled, numbered, and moved to a nearby Agukia Island, a higher, safer ground. Over 40,000 blocks were relocated. What we see today is not the original setting, but a rebirth, much like the goddess herself. And in that story, destruction, rescue, resurrection, the essence of Isis lives on. Who is Isis? Isis, or Aset in Egyptian, is one of the most beloved goddesses of all time. To the ancients, she was not just a deity, but the embodiment of divine love, healing, and magical power. Her myth tells of Osiris, her beloved husband, who was slain and dismembered by his jealous brother Seth. With unwavering devotion, Isis gathered his scattered pieces, breathed life back into him through her magic, and conceived their son Horus, symbol of renewal and divine kingship. Through this act, Isis became the archetype of resurrection, the eternal mother who turns grief into life. She was healer, protector, magician, and teacher, a goddess who bridged heaven and earth. Even the Greeks and Romans adored her. Temple to Isis stood in Rome, London, and beyond, long after Egypt's pharaohs were gone. To sailors, she was the star of safe passage. To women, she was empowerment. To mystics, she was the voice of the soul itself. Walking through the temple of Isis is like moving through the layers of your soul. The layout itself mirrors the Egyptian concept of spiritual initiation, from outer world to inner sanctum. At the entrance, twin towers rise, the pylons, carved with scenes of Isis giving life to the pharaohs. Beyond lies a courtyard once filled with sacred chanting and offerings. Further inside, the light dims, and the air thickens with presence. At the heart of the temple is the Holy of the Holies, where the statue of Isis once stood, a figure of beauty and power, holding the infant Horus, both human and divine. Metaphysically, this temple represents the womb of creation, the sacred space where energy, love, and consciousness unite. The columns, shaped like open lotus blossoms, symbolize awakening, the unfolding of divine knowledge. Every wall sings of devotion, rebirth and balance between masculine and feminine, the eternal dance of Osiris and Isis, of consciousness and creation. To the initiate, Isis is not a myth, she is a frequency. She represents the divine feminine principle, nurturing, intuitive, creative, and compassionate. In Egyptian metaphysics, she was the great magician whose voice, her vibration shaped reality. Her very name, Aset, in Egyptian means throne, the seat of power itself. To meditate in her temple is to feel that vibration, a field of stillness and strength. The ancient believed this space amplified energy, harmonizing the soul's frequencies with the rhythm of the cosmos. Every stone carries her resonance. Even today, visitors say the air around the temple feels different, softer, maternal, charged with unseen grace. The return of Isis. As I stand before her sanctuary, watching the Nile reflect the last rays of the sun, I feel something timeless moving again. Across the world, the feminine archetype, compassion, intuition, healing, is rising. From spirituality to leadership, the energy of Isis is returning, reminding humanity to restore balance between reason and empathy, power and love. Just as the temple was lifted from drowning waters and reborn on higher ground, so too is the divine feminine, rising from centuries of silence, asking us to listen again to the wisdom of the heart. Isis teaches that creation itself is love in motion. She whispers that true power is not domination, but harmony, the strength to bring life, to nurture, and to transform. The sun sinks behind the island. The columns of Isis glow amber in the fading light. It's quiet, but it's not empty. Somewhere in the wind, you can still hear her, the mother of magic, the healer of hearts, the eternal voice of balance. Her temple, rescued from the waters, stands as a living metaphor for our time, that what is sacred can never truly be lost. As I board the boat and drift away, I glance back once more. The temple shimmers against the darkening sky, and I realize Isis never left. She simply waited for us to remember. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the temple of Isis, where stone, story, and spirit intertwine. In the next episode, we'll explore the other ancient sites at Egypt. Until then, may you walk in grace, guided by the light of the Divine Mother.